piece that I have been continuously working on for years now. I started it right after my fiance's mother died. This pose and all that was originally a photograph that I took of her, um, coming from the uh, uh, nursing home after the night that she died, when we were walking around the town. Um, and up until that point, I'd still only seen, a certain portion of her, and I thought that I was capturing, something that was like all encompassing of all of that. But from that point forward, she really started to break down for a lot of complicated reasons. But she then started showing me lots of different versions and different sides of her. So after getting the original face in there and seeing just seemingly like whole other beings in there with their entirely different to one another, like reasons for existing and wants and needs and tolerances, and I started layering all the faces, because she started taking on an entirely different kind of an entirely different existence. And it was one that she needed to distill and come to terms with, and she wouldn't take any help or suggestion or note or anything at all. Even when I tried to just listen, that would be like the one time that like she'd stare looking for whatever it would be out of me, and started presuming what that would be and then responding to that. Like making up her mind on what my words and intentions were before I had a chance to form them, voice them, It was about a year after this point that she had a accidental overdose from us acquiring uh, counterfeit Percocet that was actually fentanyl, after she had taken a fall, right on her tailbone. And we like we're not opioid users, so like we didn't have a known reliable source for that or anything. So what we got was what we got. She took I'm doing something else out in the living room, and I come back into the bedroom. I find her blue in the face, and I drag her out of bed, and I resuscitate her and call the EMS, and I'm doing compressions the entire time that they're on their way, because she's still just not breathing on her own, and ends up in a coma for a week, and then spends the next week handcuffed to the bed because she didn't like hospitals. But I'm not sure that, like, if she didn't come home all the way from the funeral, or it, she definitely didn't come home all the way from that hospital trip. Because from then on, she just would introduce me to something different, something mean, and it was about a year after that, year and a half maybe, that she died. Our our wedding date came and went twice. I made these little countdowns, like the calendars where like you tear the date off and the next date's underneath. I I made two separate, ones of those, counting down the day that she had planned, and we just get closer to and closer to, and she'd be nowhere closer to the event itself, because ultimately she didn't have anybody else to share that with. So there's nobody to help her, nobody to wear something for, nobody to be the bridesmaids, nobody to talk anything about it with, or just the whole normal person thing, everything that gets involved with planning something like a wedding. And she proposed to me. She gave me her father's ring. We had been together for about 7 months, living together for about 4 months, and we were both on like 10 hits of acid, coming down from spending the night like that, and she asked me to marry her, and I said yes. eventually got around to finding her a ring. Of course, her being her, she picks out an antique poison ring. And I still have that one. But there was a lot of drama bullshit with her family that really made this entire ordeal a lot more. And I'm not really going to go into so much of that. I just was kind of doing a little bit more on this as I have been from time to time, despite the fact that this has been displayed already in multiple showings in 2 galleries. I'm still, as I say in my practice in philosophy, tinkering with it. Because until it's gone, tinkering is kind of like never done. I would like to sell it. Just, of course, with any and everything else, is like, to somebody that is going to appreciate it for what it is. The last painting I sold, was to a teenage girl. It's this motorcycle one. She just said that she liked it when she seen a bunch of my stuff hanging, and she asked me how much it was, and I just said, just make me, just make an offer. What you got? What's it worth to you? She said she got $40. So I took it, even though the painting previous to that I'd actually sold was for $4,000. I was trying to keep, that trajectory, because actually that 4,000 was like, it's literally the highest that I've been paid for anything. I would absolutely love somebody that would appreciate this to make me an offer, buy it, take it away, so that way I don't feel the need to continuously tinker on it anymore. Because at this point it's been July. It's been 2.5 years. It's been 2.5 years since she died. And I would very much prefer to not be fucking with it anymore. memories are only your memory of the previous time that you recalled that memory. So, like a Xerox, of a Xerox of a Xerox, um, they degrade in a particular way, and having this particular piece around very much constantly reminds of why it turned out the way that it did, and very much reminds of all that. And I'd like to stop Xeroxing and degrading the entirety of everything, because every time that I see this, I see everything, every stage, every good thing that stopped happening, every bad thing that started, every reason why, and then rethink every reason that it didn't need to be, and then just have all those same conversations internally all over again. She insisted on being called Kitty, even when she introduced herself to my mother. But that's who she was. She was my kitty.